Join us as to make welcome our guests for today. It is time to talk. This is the Kaine Kranda Show.
Here comes Kaine.
Thank you so much.
So good to have you.
Thank you. So you're big on mental health.
Yes.
And educating people about it. Can you say this comes from a personal experience?
Sure. Like I said, I was on the biggest entertainment platform in Africa, the Big Brother Naija, and that show is a mentally destabilizing platform, okay? So besides the fact that, you know, as human beings, we all have different things that affect our mental health, that show in particular just opened things or closed some things for me, and it just made me realize that we need to talk more about this. Yes, it's an entertainment platform and people watch it and they talk about housemates, but they don't really know what housemates are going through, both in the house and then after the house. It reminds me that the show is really a mental experiment because, I'm not really supposed to say this, but before we enter the house and once we exit the house, we do get a session with a therapist. So the producers know that this show can mess you up, right? And it does mess you up. So that's the reason I feel like it's important. It was the show that kind of made me feel the need to tell people about mental health. I spoke about mental health in the house, and it kind of made people realize, oh, this is a topic. So when I came out, a mental health organization actually reached out to me that they heard me talk about mental health in the house. Would I be willing to talk more about it? And that kind of just was the springboard to my social, mental health advocacy.
Yeah, mental health is a big deal because every one of us deal with it, whether you accept it or not.
Yes.
And that is what keeps our society good or bad.
Yeah.
Is who you are, how you see things, and what you think.
Absolutely.
You know, which gives birth to what we see.
Yes, exactly what we see before us. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Take a seat, let's have a chat. What's going on with you? Something fun, something new. Let's see what we can do. It's time to talk.
Welcome back. So, can you share with us most challenging moments of your career?
The most challenging moments of my career, funny enough, would be the social impact work. I'll point to something that happened recently-ish. I was part of a debate hosted by the DW, the German media house, and it was on the topic of Japa, to stay or to go. Obviously, I'm sitting here, that means I am to stay. So I spoke, boldly and loudly about my opinions. And one of the topics that came up was about doctors, how we clearly do not have doctors in Nigeria. And I mentioned the fact that from where I grew up in the States, we all knew that to be a doctor was because you want to save lives. Amina. And I mentioned that I thought that the duty of a doctor was life, saving lives first, not worrying about your pockets. They fought me, Nigerians ripped me to shreds because of this comment. And I do think it was a more insightful, fight. They really came after me for that topic. And I saw it, I was like, well, whatever, but I didn't really see all of the backlash because I know how to mute things on social media. But a lot of my friends from all over were calling me, asking me if I'm okay. So that means people were really saying some really bad things about me that I didn't really see. I saw some of the negative things, but I ignored most of it. But I saw one comment when someone said that, oh, you're not even patriotic. The only reason you're in Nigeria is because you couldn't survive in the first world. I said, bro, I'm American. I am the first world. If I want to really showboats, I'm American past anyone that wants to jack, but I can always go back there if I want to. So it just made me realize that people are really, really angry. And it's that moment made me reconfigure how I do my social work. I still do it, but I don't do it as much, maybe on social media or publicly. I'm more kind of focused on grassroots and working with CSOs and NGOs to come up with strategies to change things there. Because I think that, y'all are gonna fight me for this, but a lot of Nigerians are not really realistic with what's going on. Those of us that are upwardly mobile don't really realize that the Nigerian that's in the village is very different from us. We think the same, but we really don't. And I have actively gone into these communities to see how people think, and things are really different. So I realized just the reception of my work sometimes is difficult. I think all of us have the same goal. We want a better Nigeria, but some people don't. They want you to want the better Nigeria in their own way. Which, and it doesn't work for me like that. So yeah, I think just the reception of some of the things. The same thing when, after the election, everybody wants to fight after the election. They didn't like how it went. I just said, guys, not so we see them. Yes, we're not happy, but let's just see how to deal with it. They didn't like that one. They wanted me to say, no. I know fit now. I know I can't fight.
Because it's not everything you can change.
Exactly.
This doctor issue, I didn't want to ask you because I watched it and it's a mixed feeling.
Sure.
Because one, just like you said, for my kids, for instance, it's their first time in Nigeria. Now, their perception before they came was different.
Yeah.
They always thought there was no road in Nigeria. Yes. They always thought there was animals.
Yes,
so their imagination, I had to bring them here for that to be corrected. Yeah. Now, certain things they don't understand. I'm trying to relate with what, My daughter made a comment. She said Nigerians dress with rags. Now, someone hearing her say that will be judgmental.
Yeah.
Now, her idea of dressing in rags was people tying wrappers.
Sure.
It's her first time of seeing such thing.
Yes.
Now, you are coming from the Western world. You've been privileged. You have seen.
Sure.
Now, even doctors in America are being paid. Even the ones in the AR, they are being paid, and they are paid very well. Now, Nigerian doctors are not being paid like they are being paid outside.
Sure.
So when I listen to the other guy talking in anger, and you were like, I don't really like this. I'm like, okay, these are two different people from two different worlds. They don't understand. This one's coming from another world. So your world is different from his world.
Sure.
His world is, I have a lot of worlds to cover, a lot of people to treat. And then what comes to my pocket? I have a family.
Sure.
Why are you telling me that I should put the people first? The two of you are making a point.
Of course, absolutely.
With the anger and and then people are like, this woman doesn't understand what's happening here.
I think I do, because I live here.
Now you are.
I live here.
No, but then you won't understand.
No, I disagree. 100%. And I'll always disagree. Any doctor, regardless of where you are, you have a code of conduct, and it is to serve the people. The same way the code of conduct for politicians is supposed to be to serve the people. My point was that statement is people first, and I will never change it, and it's everywhere. All doctors know that's their code. But Nigerian doctors have chosen money first, and that is what I said in the interview. However, because of people's anger, they chose to hear what they wanted to hear. I will stand by my statement, and any doctor who wants to disagree with me is not being true to themselves and the cause that they went to school for. A doctor's duty is to people. It's not to money first. If you want to go and make money first, go and be a banker.
Bankers don't make money.
No, I'm just saying, if you want to call this, I said a specific sentence. I never said don't go and do what the hell you want to do. I don't care. The bone of contention is the code for any doctor is to save lives. And if you disagree with that, you should leave that industry, because that means you are willing to let people die. That's what it means.
But that's what's happening in the country. You said something, you said supposed to. That is intending to. That is what it's supposed to be.
And it should be.
But that's not what it is, because here in Nigeria, when someone is sick or dying or accident person, they take you to the hospital, they don't attend to the person.
And that is the problem. That means
the government cannot change it.
To die.
That's what I'm saying. So they put the money first because people come.
Which is and it's unfortunate.
My dear, one voice cannot change that, because you know why? It's not something people are ready to do, because you have the private hospitals. They use their money to build it.
Sure, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah. That's why the politicians go out of the country to treat themselves.
I agree with you.
In America, when I went and I delivered, I did not pay a dime. I was not known. I went to the ER and I delivered, which is how it's supposed to be.
I agree.
So your point is very clear. But in Nigeria, it's the other way around.
Yeah, but how do we change it? Do all the doctors leave?
But that's what's happening today.
And that was the point of the conversation.
Yeah.
The point of the conversation was, what is the balance? Do all the doctors leave? Right now, I have a medical condition.
Yeah.
I moved from Lagos to Abuja. Yeah. I still travel to Lagos because when I moved to Abuja, they told me there are no good enough public dermatologists in this town. I was told that. So oftentimes, I still go back to Lagos if I need to. I have found some doctors here that I can deal with. But again, like we said, they're in those private facilities. And they're more focused on the aesthetics, the things that make more money rather than the health aspect. So these are that was the reason of the conversation. People can do whatever they want to do. It's not my business. However, if your family member is in need, how would you feel when they tell you the doctor that they need is not here because they left the country?
And when you go there, health is free, even though it's expensive.
Sure, yes.
But if you have exactly, but they take the life first before they ask you that. But Nigeria, the government don't put this first. They put the money first. When you see the leaders, then the people under, they do the same thing.
I see them.
So that's the problem.
I see
anyway, this is a very,
right.
It's a very emotional thing, and it's painful.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
We'll be right back.
Take a seat, let's have a chat. What's going on with you? Something fun, something new. Let's see what we can do. It's time to talk.
Welcome back. We were talking about this thing, it's a life. I hate to complain about the government. I don't like to. It's not because you have it rosy, but I learn not to. I have the mindset like, what do I do for the government?
Sure.
What do I give back? Not like my government is owing me. I have a topic like, I wrote about Nigeria did not give back to you. Your parents gave back to you.
Yes.
And yet they're not owing you.
Yes.
So
we each have a part to play.
Yeah, so it's painful. Anyway, let's talk about the LifeWire Project Blood Drive. You had sponsors, when you started the first time, you had sponsors, and at the dying minute, they backed out. They disappointed you. Now, as an entrepreneur, how do you deal with disappointment?
It was tough, but I think I've always kind of learned something. Don't embark on anything without a plan B. Yeah, so I try not to do anything unless I have an option. So when we organize the blood drive, we have a budget and we have the money for the budget, however we have it. So the plan is a sponsor now just gives you extra money per se. So we're able to run the blood drive without the sponsors because we had money somewhere from our own resources. But obviously it would have been nice to have someone else's money, duh. That's why we have the sponsors, So yeah, we planned or we prepared for a rainy day, and the rainy day did come. And it just, it's those situations in life where you just know that things don't always work out as planned, but you still have to execute. And I think you use that experience in everything that you do. You plan things meticulously and then somehow it turns into ruin. You can't just sit and cry forever. You could cry for a little bit. You're a human being. You definitely should cry. It's a sad moment, but quickly try and bounce back. So that's just how I do everything in my life. I just try to have backup plans, and I just try to bounce back after rough times. I believe that social media and technology is both a blessing and a curse. I think so many people are more in tune and understand that mental health issues exist because of social media, but social media is also causing a lot of people these mental issues. When you open your phone and you see someone driving in a Benz or flying to Singapore, or you day inside Lungu, it's causing.
And he's your classmate.
So it's causing some issues. So social media is both a good thing and a bad thing. What I always advise people to do, especially now, thankfully a lot of these social media platforms have things inbuilt that help you to design your social media experience. So platforms you're able to block certain words that might trigger you. You're able to block certain accounts. You're able to guide your algorithm to kind of like what you like. So I think it's key. Use social media to your benefit. Do not digest. I always tell people, do not ingest or digest content that doesn't benefit you. So for me, I often don't really watch a lot of skits. I love skit makers, they're my guys, but I don't really watch a lot of Nigerian skits because they're always all those girl with big yash, all those, they mess with my brain. So I don't really engage with that kind of content. So you can use social media to your benefit. You don't have to watch everything that's there or read everything that's there. Once you see something that says 500 people died, scroll past it. If you know you can't handle all those kind of intense conversations, you don't have to read it. So use social media for the good, that it has so many opportunities. You can apply for, people are getting jobs, people are finding their love life, their love partners on social media. So use it for what's good, but anything that's negative, you can design it in a way you don't have to read those contents. Men, especially African men, are not taught to be vulnerable. Man, you're supposed to, everything you hold on, you figure it out, and that's what's causing a lot of issues. And we've realized that when it comes to suicide cases, oftentimes it is men because they don't have an outlet. It's literally from what they say, from fire to frying pan. There's no option. So oftentimes we do know men are going through a lot of pressure. So it is important for men to be open and to be vulnerable. A brand, Premier Cool, they called a couple of male influencers and celebrities to have like a sit down where they voiced out their opinions about mental health. And it's key. We need to start doing those things more often. When we look at conversations like this, only me and you having it, but all the podcasts that we often see with men posting, man and woman wala, or man football wala. So we need to start having men that can host these conversations. They exist. We just need to, people like him need to just tell people that they're willing to listen to the conversation. Because oftentimes, even when men talk about mental health, it's still a woman that's listening to the conversation. So men need to be honest with themselves if they really care about their own mental health. I can't mental health for you. You have to say that you want some mental health. But I know a great organization is called Mentally Aware Nigeria. They are a volunteer-based organization where they have a number of trained therapists are willing and available. You can call them almost any hour of the day or send them a message. They will respond to you in their best way. And if they feel like it has gone to a level that they can no longer assist, they'll direct you to an actual licensed therapist, maybe in your area or something like that. So there are organizations that exist. So Mentally Aware NG is a great one. There's one that I've partnered with year after year after year. They have amazing people who are just willing to always, be a listening ear. Obviously, the Big Brother platform has affected my life positively. There are some negatives as well, and I always talk about it, but generally, without that show, I wouldn't be on this seat today. So that is a fact. Maybe I would have, but the show clearly has propelled my career beyond my belief. I am known literally all over the world. I haven't entered a country yet that someone hasn't seen me and recognized me and know who I am. So it's crazy and scary, but I mean, it's a blessing. There's so many people who wish to be in my seat. They might be talking ish about me, but they wish they were me. So I'll definitely say the show has, impacted me greatly. The negative parts would just be, dealing with naysayers, but that's human nature. People will always, not like you or what have you. But I have been able to build a successful brand. I have been able to impact lives, but my passion and my willingness to share my views and my thoughts have made people believe in me as a thought leader. And I mean, I'm so grateful because the platform truly got me to this point. So I would just say for Big Brother viewers, just remember that, yes, it's an entertainment show, but it could have been you in the house. And the way you talk about people is how people would have been talking about you if you were there. So just be mindful of what you say about people. Since we are talking about mental health, be mindful. Like we always say, sticks and stones will, break my bones with words whenever. Words hurts. Words sting. You remember words. So please just be mindful of the things you say about housemates and people in general. Yeah.
What kind of man are you looking out for?
Man, realistically, I want a Nigerian man. I do appreciate that most Nigerian men understand their duty. People think that you can't be a feminist and support the patriarchy. Guys, let me tell you, yes, you can, okay? I am a feminist. I believe in gender equity. However, I still like men that understand their role as my provider and my leader. That is what I want. So I want a man that understands that. And I will never lie to you guys. Provision means finance, brotherly. It does. Let's not call a spade a spade.
So the man have to provide.
Yes.
So that's why they're hustling.
Yes. No, I agree. That's why I said that he should finish hustling
and then come back.
Yes. Don't come and confuse me like you're ready for me now, but you're not ready. Okay. That's the difference. Okay. So yes, it's the truth. If you are a religious being, or even if you're an African being, men are supposed to provide for women. The way you provide is by having finances to provide. So yes, I'm not against the hustler, but do your hustle. Don't be confusing me like you're ready for me. You want me, like I can take you home when you don't want to go home. So yes, I do want a man to understand that his role is to provide. But of course, I want someone that's kind, caring, that's understanding. I've realized one of my, I won't say biggest mistakes, or something that I've realized adds to the issue with some people dating is when you are a public figure. It just is more difficult. It's just more difficult. You go out maybe more, you're out later, or you have more suitors around, so it makes some men, I don't know if it's intimidated is the word. Yeah, it just becomes more difficult when you are a public figure.
So will you consider, what if someone comes to you and he's everything you want, and yet he wants you to be a second wife?
Sure. Well, let me not say sure. I'm a Muslim woman. Religiously, I'm open to it.
To that,
yes.
yeah.
However, it's not just anybody's second wife. You guys, like you said, everything
has to be.
Everything must be.
The wardrobe should be ready. Everything ready to go.
Everything, guys, they said. It's like I just enter there and not even know someone's before me. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
I need to enter and feel like it's just me and myself.
Happening. Yeah. So that's the only price it takes.
Yeah.
So guys, I'm sure you've learned one or two things. Of course, obviously you've learned something, because I don't know. It's challenging when you meet someone that can challenge you. That is how life is. Life is not about competition, but about facing people that can challenge you. It brings out a lot out of you. Yeah. It moves you. It's not because like social media is fake. Of course, by now it's fake. Because I'm always on the camera, in front of the camera. So when I see things on TV, I don't believe most of the things. So social media, by now, is fake. So don't rely on social media like she said. But let people that you like genuinely, see them as a learning tool, not as a competitor or not as a competition. Compete with yourself. And I'm sure you've learned something from Antolecky today.
Thank you so much for having me. This was great.
What are you going to say for anyone else?
Sure. I would just say, be nice to Big Brother housemates. I'm tired of you guys insulting us. Leave us. It's been years, but it's still part of my brand. And I still always promote and I push housemates. Anytime I have projects, I call on housemates, because people still have the stigma that we just went there to be useless, and we're useless.
Just sleep around.
Do you get me? With my 2 degrees, I'm useless. Impossible. So just remember that housemates had a life before and they will have a life after. The Big Brother platform is just a stepping stone for them to realize their destiny. And when we're talking about mental health, please take care of yourselves. Nigeria sucks right now, I'm not gonna lie. Forget about who is paying me. Nigeria is rough and tough right now. So please take care of yourself. Please take care of your family members. Please be easy on everyone is going through a lot. So please just be gentle. And I wish everyone the best.
Till come your way again, keep sharing and follow the Kaine Kranda Show.
It's time to talk.